Imagine this. You look out your window one morning, expecting to see the usual, maybe some birds, a couple of squirrels running around, nothing special. But instead, you see something weird. Two grey squirrels are chasing a tiny red squirrel, and this little one. He's struggling. He can't run straight. He's tripping over himself, and you can tell something's not right. What would you do? Just watch. Hope for the best. Or would you step in? That's exactly what happened to the homeowner in this story. They didn't just stand by. They went outside, scared off the grey squirrels, and took a closer look at the little red one. And right away they could tell. This squirrel wasn't normal. Something was wrong. He looked dizzy, confused, and just lost. They brought him inside, set him up in a little box with some soft fabric, and gave him some food. But here's the thing. He couldn't even eat properly. He kept tipping over. Have you ever seen a baby animal trying to figure out how to exist? That was him. But unlike other squirrels that eventually get the hang of things, he wasn't improving. He walked like he was on a rocking boat. He tried to climb something and just fall right over. Eating was a struggle because he couldn't balance on his back legs. They named him Tommy. And let me tell you, Tommy was a mess, but at the same time, he was the most lovable, clumsy little thing you'd ever see. And even though it was clear he wouldn't survive on his own out there, he had no idea he was different. He had the same energy as any other squirrel, the same curiosity. He just couldn't move right. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Enter Jack. Jack is the family's cat. And not just any cat. Jack is the most patient, gentle cat you can imagine. And somehow, Jack took one look at Tommy and thought, yeah, that's my little buddy now. You know how cats usually react to small animals, right? Even the nicest cats usually have that hunter instinct. They might swat, chase, or at least be suspicious. But not Jack. Jack just accepted Tommy right away. And Tommy, he immediately attached himself to Jack like he had just found his long-lost sibling. Now, I want you to picture this in your head. This wobbly, uncoordinated little squirrel trailing behind a big, calm cat all over the house. If Jack went to the scratching post, Tommy would stumble after him, trying to copy. If Jack curled up on the couch, Tommy would clumsily climb up and snuggle next to him. And the most incredible thing, Jack let him. Not just let him, he seemed to look out for him. If Tommy got too excited and started hopping around too much, Jack would just make a quiet sound, and Tommy would immediately settle down. It's like Jack knew Tommy wasn't like other squirrels. He wasn't just tolerating him, he was actively taking care of him. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How do animals just know? How did Jack realize Tommy needed him? And why did Tommy trust Jack so much? It's not like squirrels and cats are known for being best friends, but somehow they just understood each other. Everywhere Jack went, Tommy followed. And the best part, Jack actually taught Tommy how to move better. Think about that. A cat teaching a squirrel how to get around. Tommy started mimicking Jack's movements, using his tail for balance a little better, figuring out how to grip things instead of just toppling over. It wasn't perfect, but it was improvement, and it was all because of Jack. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What happens next? Do they stay together forever? Does Tommy eventually go back outside? Here's the thing. Tommy couldn't survive in the wild. That much was obvious. But at the same time, he wasn't just a pet either. He was something in between. So a family decided they'd keep him, but they'd make sure he had the best of both worlds. He had his safe space inside, but he also had access to a secure outdoor area where he could feel like a squirrel, climbing small trees, play in the dirt, just experiencing life the way he was supposed to, without the dangers that would have come with being completely wild. And Jack was always nearby, sitting on the porch, watching over him, making sure Tommy didn't get too carried away. Because that's what big brothers do, right? It's crazy how things work out sometimes. This clumsy little squirrel, who should have never made it, found the perfect home with the perfect companion. And Jack, a cat who could have just ignored him or chased him off, decided to love him instead. It makes you think, how often do we judge too quickly? How many times do we assume animals, or even people, will act a certain way just because that's what's normal? But then you see something like this, and it reminds you, kindness doesn't follow rules. Love doesn't care about what's expected. It just happens. And sometimes the most unlikely friendships are the ones that teach us the most. So what do you think? Have you ever seen an unexpected friendship like this? Let me know in the comments. And if this story warmed your heart even a little, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this. Because honestly, the world needs more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.